What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Star Wars Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 166 being recorded on July 6, 2022. Welcome back, everybody. We took a little small break to kind of get over the Kenobi craze and everything and regroup. I hope everybody's ready to get back in the swing of things. I hope everybody in America had a happy 4th of July. Stayed safe and has all their fingers. So we'll see. Remember, it doesn't take fingers to listen to a podcast. Okay, anyway. So, I'm your host, Darth Moocher, and I've got Scott Solo here with me.
Execute Order 166. What's up, nerds?
Oh, that's good. I got Bootleg Joe.
Hey, yo.
We've got Grand Admiral Franz.
Hey, everybody.
And the one and only Fallen Fett.
Master! Sorry.
Oh, my God. Yeah, see, that's another thing why we wanted to kind of like...
Beyond the Pit is coming.
Yeah. We
on a couple pieces, yeah.
Oh, my goodness, guys. Yeah, like getting over the whole Stranger Things and everything. And that's going to have to be a Beyond the Pit episode. But another reason why we had to take a week off. Yeah, we had to take a week off on that. So
they better watch out.
Yeah,
we got to hit Stranger Things. Scott finally watched Peacemaker.
I know.
We can finally talk. Finally. So
Peacemaker is awesome.
Getting caught up.
Yep.
Now we're down to Marco as soon as he gets off his ass and watches it. Or on his ass and watches it.
I've been a little bit busy, but I will have to put it on in the background. So
it's worth it.
No, you're right. I feel guilty by being the only one that hasn't seen it. And this
I might have a login you can maybe
send it to me and I'll binge it.
And then The Boys. Anybody watch The Boys? We got all sorts of Beyond the Pits going on. Let's do this.
Do.
Ernie's. Yeah, come on, Ernie's show. Let's talk about The Boys.
The Boys
Let's go.
Crazy.
Exactly. All right, so before
season one, that was good.
Before we get into all the good stuff that we got to talk about, we have our Patreons we want to give a shout out to. So Scott, why don't you go ahead and take that away?
Hey, everybody. Once again, we want to give a big shout out to our Patreon patrons. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to look as beautiful as we do right now. I mean, look at that logo. Look at that logo over there. How awesome is that? That's because of you. So if you would, log on to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast and, donate a couple of bucks a month. It really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And it just goes right back into the show. So, all right. And with that, let's shout out the names of our patrons. We've got Ryan and the Star Joes from the Star Joes podcast, Cliff, Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on the Red 5 Network. You'd think I would actually have this memorized by now. But no, I am old and I don't remember. Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Don the Dad Dorn, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine, Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Crystal Lamphere, Brandon and Anya Epler, and AJ from the Forbidden Panel. Thank you, one and all. We really appreciate every one of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And while you're in that little announcer voice or attitude, I want to go ahead and shout out everybody that's being digested now in the pit. They're in there.
They are in there. I want to give a special shout out to Brian Wilson of the Divine Wine Bar in Victorville, California. His establishment is top notch. Really good stuff in there. I hope you got the stout in, man. Last time I was in, you're out of the stout. I need the stout.
The stout.
He's got some great beer in there.
Nice.
Then we've got Cliff. We've got Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour podcast again. Geo the Hut. Douglas Tupper. Connor Ibe? Is it Ibe? Connor Ibe? Can you let us know? Is it Ibe or Ibby? I don't know. But Connor, hey, what's up, man? Another Connor. We've got Dr. Jones. There's no time for love, Dr. Jones. You're busy watching the Sarlacc Digest. Bootleg Joe, who's right below, he's right beside me. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How's it going over there? We've got Julianne Fernie, Matt Logic 44. We've got the Commander Academy. Hey, that's Brandon Epler. Let's see. Mando Mike is in there. And yeah, that's it. That's all that's spoken up so far. So as you guys all roll in, we will say hi.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's Ivy. Okay, it's like IB, like Connor Ivy. Thanks, Connor. Appreciate it.
Cool. I see that in the pit, some people have gotten their brand new Sarlacc Digest t-shirts and I got to show you this. I got our Sarlacc Digest mug
Oh yeah.
And in here, I feel very, very ashamed that there's only water in this. I have to go to the Vine Wine Bar and get some proper spirits in here. So
there we go. I got my new iPhone case.
yeah.
How
if you're
cool is
wondering
that?
where to get all this awesome, cool new gear, I think Scott has a little presentation, and then we'll finish our house cleaning and get into Star Wars.
Sure. So, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking, and somebody said, "Hey, I had to hunt down T-shirts from you guys." I'm like, "We have T-shirts? I didn't know we had T-shirts." Marco remembered that we had T-shirts out there somewhere, so we went ahead and found that
our
website and found the password. I went ahead and did a deep dive and, made everything look really good. So here we go. We've got our Teespring account. So, it's sarlacc-digest-podcast.creator-spring. It's in the comments below.
It's in the link.
It's in the link below. So, we've got some T-shirts. We've got classic tees. We've got premium tees, which is what I'm wearing right now. It's one of those extra soft one, really comfy shirts. We've got the Sarlacc Digest Drink It Nerdy, because if you flip over that glass, it says Drink It Nerdy on the other side.
Really cool.
We also have a mug that does the same thing. It says Drink It Nerdy on the back. So we've got zipper hoodies. We've got zipper hoodie with the current logo and our beer logo. There's tank tops for ladies. There's stickers. There's iPhone cases. Hell, I even made a backpack because why the hell not? If we ever decide to go on the road, take the show on the road, we could throw all of our equipment in
a backpack.
Sarlacc Roadshow. That sounds
and
awesome.
all the shirts are double-sided. So there's little logo on the front, big logo on the back, and they say Pit Crew on the back.
Really cool.
Right there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hope you like them.
Yeah, really cool, guys. And everybody, again, it's really cool to show off your favorite Star Wars podcast and let everybody know where to find us, and especially because you're hitting that like button right now. You're smashing it, and you're subscribing if you haven't been subscribed.
Smash.
Look at
Smash the like button.
Look, Scott.
no.
Look at Scott.
Now it's me. Now I gotta get one.
You don't have it? You don't have one, Chris?
I don't have a Hulk pop.
Oh my God.
We'll get
Gosh,
you.
I'm so ashamed.
Scott went ahead and went all the way to Vegas to find that to join in
I
the
bought
celebration.
this.
Now we're gonna have to get you one.
I bought this at Rogue Toys in Las Vegas on the Strip. So there we go.
We are a big old ad for no advertisement revenue at all, right?
I know,
We love everybody. Pimp everybody's shit for nothing. We're awesome.
That's right.
Okay, but for
I
the
got
real
your Hulk,
reason why
Chris. You just got to let me know when you're in town.
Right on.
yeah, right. Yeah, for the real
Awesome.
reason why
Do you
we're-
really? I'll come over and get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
neat.
do. I was
Neat.
serious from the first time. I got it waiting and ready for
Oh,
you.
then I will make sure.
That's
All right.
hilarious.
All
I'll
right.
have to see you anyway, Ernie. I'll pick up whatever you need to see him, whatever.
There you go.
have to do. So, all right, guys. All right, Pitt. Are you guys ready to talk some Star Wars? With the Kenobi series ending and all that stuff, I went ahead and I did this. I don't know if anybody else did this, if you guys did or the Pit did this. I went back and I watched A New Hope. I was like, okay, do I want to go Rogue One, New Hope, or what? I just went straight to New Hope because I really wanted to see if it was seamless. You know what I mean? The transition from Kenobi and all the dialogue that we've been talking about and all that stuff. And I hadn't watched it since it premiered. And I was pleasantly surprised and very pleased that even with the Princess Leia dialogue or R2D2, it still worked. Her reaction, everything just worked. It just worked. It enhanced it so much better. I don't think. I mean, maybe the Pit. If anybody has any problems with that, did they have any problems of still like, oh my God, Kenobi series made it a little bit muddy, going into New Hope. Did you guys? I don't know. Did you have the same results or?
No, I watched it. I watched it the same way, though. I was watching it in my head with the series anyway. Yeah. Right, because everything that came up, you want to think, okay, how's that going to affect this? Every single thing they say, you think about it. But when watching it, no, man, everything was perfect. They took good care of it. They respected everything. They were strong about whatever all the things that they said. Right there, matched up perfectly. I mean, it was done super well. It couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it again, and
Did you?
It matched almost perfectly. Now you totally get why Leia was so sharp when she was a little girl. It's like it matched perfectly with the adult Leia.
It did, guys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when I was watching it, and again the whole thing, the garbage chute thing, into the garbage chute flyboy, and that whole dialogue between her and Han. I was like, oh my goodness. Now it's like seeing how witty and sharp and sharp, snake tongue she is. It was awesome.
Yeah, she'd called somebody a walking carpet, and it would have been no problem, right? No problem with that little girl.
It really worked, and that was our fear going into it, right? How is it going to affect the New Hope going forward and stuff? Especially, even Ben Kenobi's and Luke's relationship when Luke got attacked by the Sand People, and he came and rescued. And he was talking to him, hey, it's quickly now, all that, just that whole scene and their interaction. It just went back. I was like, man, okay. It just kind of like clicked. It clicked with me.
What it does is it makes it to where I'm really upset if they make a season 2 because it's perfect now.
Yeah.
Don't screw with it. Just be happy. Let's move to the next thing. Let's move to Andor.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Let's not start talking about. Let's not them start talking about Kenobi season 2 because they rewrote that ending. Did you guys see that where the writer had talked about how they had originally created Reva?
Yes.
Right? Because Reva, if they wanted to use the Inquisitors, but not the other ones. They only wanted to create Reva so they could kill Reva.
Right. For the purpose of Vader killing her, yes.
For the purpose of Vader killing her, this whole thing being wiped out, nobody else knowing the secret, nothing like that, right? That was the point. So he wasn't too happy that they went and redid it in the end just to make it possible for a season 2. That wasn't the
don't make
intent.
it hope it ended. Yeah.
So
I saw that, and it's funny because like after everything is settled, the dust is settled. Usually we do hear rumors of that, like right away you would hear something like, hey, season 2 is in the works, whatever. It's only been Hayden and Ewan McGregor saying we want to do.
I think this time, if anything's true to it, they're going to get the story before they announce it. They're going to get exactly the story. They're all, this is what we can run with. Announce it now. Because they're going to say, because with everything else, like the Taika Waititi, he hasn't even started writing that shit yet.
Right. And he had a great quote, and I'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah, but so you can't say that with Kenobi. You can't say, okay, we're going to start writing it now. No, you better have the story before we even think about telling anybody it's season 2 coming.
Yeah.
It's like Mando Mike says, we don't need a season 2. We
At
don't.
all.
100% agree.
I've said it before. If we have anything, it should be, if they want to continue the story, give us a made for Disney Plus movie, do something like that.
Right.
Tell a short story. There's no need for a long form 6 episode series.
Just intertwine them with Andor. That's all you have to do. Just intertwine them. Get it. Because again, we talked about this before. Bail is going to be in Andor. There's no doubt. Zero doubt, which means Leia is 99%, which she's hot right now, right? The actress is hot. It's like Grogu. You're not going to just drop what you got going.
Right.
Leia exists in that time frame, so let's use her in that time frame. These things are going to happen, and they'll go. And at some point, I don't see him calling on Kenobi because I think that might mess up a little bit with A New Hope. I don't know why. I just feel
the next
like
8 years should have been
twice.
him with Qui-Gon meditating, looking over Luke, and nothing happened. Nothing eventful.
Yeah.
Because, again, when he meets Vader again, your powers are weak. Again, he goes back into this solitude kind of stuff. And he should be that crazy old hermit that lives beyond the Dune Sea. You know what I mean? And just leave it at that. And it's no, like, what I really wanted to say, it's like, it's no dig at what we got. It's no dig at Hayden or anybody. It's like, what you gave us was so good. And us as Star Wars fans, sometimes we don't really want another season of something. What we got is like perfect, and we move on to something else.
No, it's a compliment by saying we don't want a season 2.
Yeah,
on this
you
one.
guys did perfect with it. Cliff's
Okay,
comment
so
on. Yeah, go ahead.
So here's the thing. Did he close himself off from the Force again? Because how would Vader not sense him after all that?
Well, he did on the Death Star. I mean,
maybe it's a proximity thing.
Yeah, it might be. It might.
He's got to be within 2,000 months.
Because they don't know. They don't know where everybody else is either. They're searching for other Jedi. So I mean, there's not.
Well,
although.
searching.
Yeah, so they're using probe droids and stuff, right? So his connection, they can't go across the galaxy, I guess. Maybe they're just not like Kylo and Rey.
Remember? Yeah.
Yikes.
And it's always too, your thoughts always betray you too. So if he learns to suppress his thoughts, then he can pretty much hide.
And if he's not using the Force a lot, right?
Yeah.
If it's I suppose, I don't know, man. That's actually a really good question, Joey, because they've established that you can contact across the galaxy if you have a strong enough connection. And who has a stronger connection than those two?
Well, if we remember right,
True.
that was Vader's thoughts getting connected. Remember, that was a lot of Vader showing up.
It was going back and forth. Yeah,
correct.
Right.
So maybe now that once that duel, and he says, he knows that Anakin is dead, he's able to cut it off himself.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to allow him to do this. That's Vader. He was allowing Anakin because of his feelings and what he felt. That was,
but
you know,
Anakin
that
is
was
truly dead.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm cutting it off. I know that he has that connection with me, but I'm not going to allow it.
Yeah. And then going back into A New Hope, when Vader senses Obi-Wan on the Death Star, Tarkin says, you know, he must not be allowed to escape, and Vader says, escape is not his plan. I must face him alone, meaning like he probably sensed that Obi-Wan was there to confront again. Like,
well, just like in Kenobi, Vader says, "You're staying here," and because remember because Fifth Brother told Reva, he said, "Don't follow."
Right.
It's him and him alone. This is always a one-on-one thing. That's why even the training on Coruscant, right? It's always one-on-one. Your desire to beat me, it's always him against me. It's not me and my army against Kenobi. It's not all this. It's me and him. That's all it is.
And Brian Wilson here says something. Emperor makes him shut it off. And
he does.
At the end, the conversation that he had with the Emperor, he's like, "Stop, you're done." And Vader's
basically,
like, "Yes, master."
Knowing that's going to piss him off. No, that's the Emperor pissing him off. Because there's nothing wrong with going after Kenobi. You have Inquisitors, and it's Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi. Go get it. Sorry, that's my one for the day.
Whoa.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Go get him. You know? But the Emperor's like, this could really upset Vader. Let me upset Vader and put a kibosh on this thing.
Oh, sure.
Can I get that my Sarlacc shirt? Obi-Wan Kenobi. and on the back, I wanted to say, that's my one for the day.
That's my one for the day. Keep it PG.
That's great right there. I want it. I need it.
Oh, man. You know what I do? A quote, if it was going to be off a little bit, or it was the... I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. When he says that to Luke,
right.
Going to rescue a princess from the Imperials or from somebody like that is, I think that's neat. Where he kind of like, because you had to think about for the last 20 years, he was still old. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't talking about 20 years ago or further. He was talking about more recent, like this with Leia. It feels like now.
Right.
Now it feels like, oh, I've already done this saving Leia shit.
Yeah, and he's basically in that whole dialogue with him and Lars was like, look, I'm grooming him for this moment anyway. So Okay,
that part is the weird part. I mentioned it in chat, right? After I watched the series again, it is weird that Kenobi was very into watching Luke, very worried about protecting him. The one time he leaves him alone for 5 minutes, he comes back. He's been taken by an Inquisitor. Could have been very well killed. Comes back and finds Owen and Beru just 30 feet away, right? From not even far out. Luke,
they don't go that far.
Luke. And then Kenobi decides, after luckily getting Luke saved, he says, "You know what? I've decided you're all Luke needs now. I'm going to go ahead and go across the Dune Sea on my Eopie." That's okay. If I'm going to bitch about anything, it was that decision and us three. They were all different ones, though, and the one I only get one.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. If I'm going to complain about anything, it's probably that, because I just felt the that was a rushed decision, and maybe the wording was bad because right after what happened, right? Because that wouldn't have been my thought when I came back. I'm like, dude, I just left, man. You can't hold this kid safe.
That's one of those things we just go, I didn't hear that. You know what I mean? We just go, fast forward to New Hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it was like at the end, and they were just like, let's just clean this up real fast.
Yeah.
That's it.
You just try to make amends with Owen Lars there. You know
off to the Dune Sea. I feel like that's why you can tell right at the end there was rewritten a little bit, and it didn't quite match up. The rest of the series was flawless as far as flow. That just seemed out of place, and I bet you that was part of the rewrite, making it feel that way.
And again, I just was like trying to finalize my Kenobi experience by watching A New Hope and going straight there and just making it all kind of blend with each other. And to me, I felt it did an amazing job. I do want to bring up what Cliff mentioned in the Taika Waititi, because you brought him up too, Chris. He made a great comment about basically rushing a script. He said, I think it was either today or yesterday, he said he put out saying, I am writing a script and it's done when it's done, no matter how long it takes. And I'm like, yes, because it's no longer we have a deadline, we need this, we're announcing this, we have to, like, for example, the Rogue Squadron movie, you know how it was like set a date, pen to paper, not even yet. It's just we have a date, release date, and now you got to come up with something.
Or Rise of Skywalker, where you give yourself such, or the sequel trilogy, where you give yourself such limited windows to get it all done. Yeah,
which I feel reassured about that comment.
Me too.
It's also like it's also the thought process in my head too. It's like, don't announce something unless you have something to announce. Lando, is the one
the Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, like we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
Have the story, then tell us. But Lando,
here we go. Julia and Fernie says Obi would be a great fulcrum. I don't think so. I mean, I think he's got to stay put. Yeah, he's got to stay put, and not get involved.
No, we should start seeing. There's going to be a fulcrum, obviously, in in Andor, right? So we're going to deal with. I'm sure Ahsoka will be in there. And
I do want to transition over to the era of Andor.
Cool.
You know, we like finishing Kenobi and going into Andor, and just like you said, I think that opens up the doors for so much. And I think that the Andor series is a sleeping giant in myself for Star Wars, for us, for them to again have that script ready to go. Like in 2 seasons, they're gonna wrap it up real nice. And they also, because there was an article that came out, and the producers and everybody said it's going to end where Rogue One begins. Like it's going to go right up to that, which is
so there won't be any question about a sequel.
Right.
It'll go
right. Seasons 1 and 2, and what's really interesting was how Andor is shaping up to deliver us in yearly segments.
Bites.
Yearly bites. They said like the first. Every 3, which they said they shot it in blocks.
The first season is 1 year.
No,
the first season,
every 3 episodes.
First season is 1 year. Second season is years 3.
Every
4,
3.
and 5.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was
first year is all 1 year. Then that was the weird part because 3, 4, and 5 are going to be the ones leading into Rogue One.
Got it.
2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry.
When I saw so I was reading up all this stuff on Andor, and I was looking at like the people involved again, and it just kind of like, and it was promised to be like, it's a huge world. Like it really, they're putting a lot into it. And that's why I'm saying that Andor is going to be the sleeping giant for Star Wars in general. I think this is just like Rogue One to me is a film that we give a lot of credit, but I don't think like the overall people give it a lot of credit, because going back, and I was explaining this to somebody else, you had Mandalorian, which was fresh and new, but you had Grogu, who really just energized the whole thing because it was a marketing genius strategy, but also it starts to be a good story that going on, familiar characters and bringing in Luke and all that stuff. Everybody's excited. They're waiting for season 3. You got Boba Fett, which is a familiar name or a household name, and they made him a good guy, but okay, it's there. Kenobi, and again, another household name. You expect this epic business. And then you have Cassian Andor, which is like not even a secondary character. But to us, I thought Rogue One was genius. But again, it's this character. You see him using the shot. He's the 4th one down. It's like one of those things I'm sitting there going, you know what? I think Andor is really going to. It might not hit the marketing strategy for Star Wars, but I think it's going to hit us. I think it's going to hit people, what we do as we talk Star Wars, and how really the lore and the rise of the rebellion and the connections that we're going to make on this show and to each other when we're sitting in line waiting and all that stuff. I think that's what our main focus and talk is going to be, not like how cute Grogu is and the Luke Skywalker coming in like that. It's really going to hit home for us, I believe.
Andor is really going to be like the base of our Star Wars history, right?
Yes.
The original trilogy is all going to come together here, where you start seeing like the rise of the rebellion and all these people being built. You're going to see this should be the first year, because they didn't say it was like sequential years, right? They just said it was 5 different years. I don't know if they was all in a row.
You're right.
So we don't
it wasn't
know
linear. It wasn't said to be linear. So
I think they should link Bad Batch to Andor and Kenobi in there, all that kind of linking in, and then branching out and getting into the movies and then into Rebels and stuff. The second bit.
Forrest Whitaker's rumored to be casted into reprising Saw Gerrera.
Nice.
It's gonna expand. Like I said, this might not be a big marketing series.
I think it will.
But I think it's gonna be freaking epic. Like I really think, I get excited because again, all the people associated with this, and then all their backgrounds, and Jon Favreau. This is the one. Jon Favreau is not. His name is not nowhere near anything like that. But doesn't tell me that he doesn't go into the here, read this and see what you think, going on.
They're all part of the group at this
exactly.
point, right? And Filoni's the guy in the group now, right? He got promoted to whatever he's promoted to. And...
Oh, dude, he should be CEO. I mean,
God.
Story-wise, you don't want to give him too much. You know what happened in DC when they started giving all the artists.
You're right.
And things go to shit when you have that, right? You have to have some oversight,
But Jeff Johns in DC, he kind of reined some of that in. So I mean,
he caused Green Lantern. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time we said, "Oh, Green Lantern movie. Jeff Johns is way in charge of this." Hell yeah.
That's true.
That was the big talk back then when Jeff Johns was name tag. We're like, "Oh my god, we're in good hands." And then we were like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
Blackest Night had just happened. All of that had just gone on, and we get that film.
Yeah. However, Filoni has proved himself. Filoni has proved himself. Other than Resistance, we don't talk about Resistance.
No. Yeah. Cliff also mentioned too, where this kind of should excite Scott too. Andor could be the first time we see a Star Wars planet with more than one climate city. Yes.
No. Maybe single biome. Single biomes only.
It. Yeah, I don't care about the single biome stuff, but the desert, like Tatooine, all that stuff. I think what they said, how big this it's twofold, right? How they said how big this series is getting as far as scope. Grand scale, you see in the trailers how different it is from even the Kenobi series. Like we complained a lot about the CGI, how like the ships are just like way too fast and whatever and flat. Andor seems to have like this theatrical budget to it, or the
definitely from the trailer
they're making miniatures again. You know what I mean? Like that whole Star Wars feel. And Gilroy being an associate, I think he gets it. He's got that it's Rogue One, man. Like they went from the ground up and they just was like, this is what worked. Let's not rebuild the wheel here. You know what I mean? Let's do what works. And that's why I feel like we're in such good hands with.
Once we get this done, though, we really are damn near done this era, right? I mean, this is really closing in on between Rebels, Kenobi, and Andor, covering a lot of space, and Bad Batch in here. We have really
because Ahsoka's going beyond, right? Yeah. Ahsoka's going beyond. And that's where that whole Kathleen Kennedy say we're moving beyond the sky. Well, because it's still in the middle of a Skywalker saga. So
I won't be satisfied. I won't be satisfied until I get Galen Erso, the science story, where he's just trapped in a science lab with a bunch of nerds building Death Star
on a whiteboard.
Literally literally setting the plan. We need to see everything.
That's what I was going to say.
Every moment.
That's the background of him figuring out how is this going to slip through. Right. Even for the second Death Star.
Yeah. Well, in this I was trying to like make the connection between Hayden Christensen saying that there's so much more Vader story to tell. It's like, and Andor is perfect. You know what I mean? I mean, it's there for you, man.
Oh man, I kind of want just Vader as background power.
Me too. And
right?
the Emperor.
Yeah, and the Emperor.
But at the same time, I mean, I don't think if we do get a Vader in the Andor series, I don't think it's going to be like him hunting down whatever, and I think it's going to be like
officers reporting to them.
Yeah, like a Tarkin coming. Like we might see a Tarkin and him interacting. We might see the Emperor and him interacting on a grand plan or something like that.
And a blue guy coming up soon.
And Thrawn. I mean, he's got to be in the Imperial.
Ahsoka's out farther. They're gonna introduce him before he gets to Ahsoka, so it's got to be soon, right? Andor's got to be it. They're not just gonna introduce him in Ahsoka.
That'd be
if I could see Vader one time in Andor, it would be a scene similar to that one scene in the comic book where he tells all those me and Connor were talking about this last weekend about that scene in the comic book where he's surrounded by nothing but fear and dead men.
Oh
yes, that is a great scene.
If we could just have a bunch of rebels surrounding him, thinking that they caught him. And he just annihilates all of them. If we could just have that, and that's all we see of Vader, I'm happy.
Yeah,
and Cassian is the only survivor.
Yeah, but just him interrupting this rebel gathering or something, that would be awesome. Yeah. And that's like a one and done shot of Vader. But we don't have to see that. We see the aftermath of it. You know what I mean? We can see like the before and aftermath of it. And I think I'd be freaking awesome.
Geo,
not season one.
Will we see K2SO?
This leading up to the day, like basically Rogue One, then I guarantee we'll in season 2.
They said season 2.
Yeah.
Hold on. They've said this, but Liam Neeson also said, "I don't do television."
Oh, but they're not hiding. But they're not hiding K2. He's coming, just not in season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like he's going to be a surprise. Everybody's expecting. You know, I mean, like we expected Qui-Gon to, right? But Alan Tudyk's not exactly Liam Neeson. It's like, Alan Tudyk's going to be in.
I remember them announcing that, though, from the beginning, saying it was the Andor and K2SO. Yeah. Right? Wasn't it called Cassian K2O or something? K2SO or something like
they
that?
said we'll meet him and see how it happens and how the meeting happens, but in season 2.
What I heard. That's what. I don't remember it being like them together. I think we said eventually we will meet up with that duo and then them reprogramming him over to as the K2SO. But yeah, guys, like the more. What else in that article? Again, the grand scope of it, the people associated with it. They even had the episode breakdown of who wrote it, who's directing, and it's just. It excites the hell out of me, man. Like it's really cool.
They keep showing Mon Mothma. There was another still the other day came up with
that was
Mon
another
Mothma
thing.
Again.
So Mon Mothma is said to have a huge role in this, like more exploration on her back. Oh, they also said in the article that they were talking about the cutscenes from episode 3, how Bail and Mon and all of them got together and basically are forming the rebel, the resistance, if you will, I guess at that time, and it was cut. So they're going to re-explore that kind of background, that where in the backgrounds you will see like Mon Mothma doing stuff and Bail and then getting together, and that's
That's how it should start. That's
exactly how it should start.
The cut scene from episode 3 because the same actors are in it, and then jump forward just like they did with they kind of did it with Kenobi, right? But a little different. Use the actual scene and play it through.
Right,
cool.
right. Yeah,
10 years later.
From there's that shot with Mon Mothma on the Senate floor, right? In the trailer. Like she's her back's there and has a whole Senate thing. That would be cool if that was the the attack on me left me scarred.
That's the Imperial Senate. That's the
but how like Kenobi began on Order 66, like that would be cool if that was the aftermath of Order 66 in the Senate speech, and then they get together and have that thing going on, and the end of the Clone Wars, and dude, there's so much to do in this. And I was talking to somebody like this, like, we really, really haven't explored the rebellion side of things, like the actual rebellion, the politics in there and the structuring and what and systems, and it has to all be underground, because in that article it also said that when Mon Mothma basically criticized the Empire and Tarkin, she put a mark on herself as, treason. And so she has to. I think we're going to explore that when she gets into that mode where she cannot be seen in public anymore. You know what I mean? And
like in Rebels, they were after her. They were hiding her, smuggling her, basically.
Season 2,
and then and I'm kind of hoping that we get more of this Saw Gerrera and his ragtag stuff and how he became out of like, hey, two terrorists kind of.
Yeah, because you could tell they were obviously together at some point, all of them, right? Yeah. Saw and Bail and all of them, and then because when he has his big old hologram in Rebels, right, towering over her, they have a familiarity. They were together.
There's history there.
Yeah, and you would think Andor might share some visions of what Saw Gerrera was doing, like kind of like he's like Cassian's like, hey, if the job gets done, it gets done. Going to that thing, shooting that guy in that alley, you know what I mean? Like he's leaving people because of the greater cause, the greater good, kind of stuff. And that's Saw Gerrera's thing. Hey, we're gonna blow up this city, we're gonna kill all the Imperials, and if casualties happen, hey, that happens, but it's for the rebellion, it's for the cause. And I would like to see some of that come into play with Cassian's attitude and how how it separates itself from Saul's group, and then you have the rebellion group, and then Cassian's kind of like in the middle of that too. There's a lot to explore there.
You have to see the crossover of that point.
We
say that we're going to see him as a kid, right? So you're going to have to see him like loving it and then growing into the rebellion and getting that idea. But there comes a point like that. Like I remember that was the most shocking thing out of Rogue One is when he killed his friend, his informant, his whole. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
That was how we were introduced to him. It was like,
it's like,
this dude is, and that's the side of the rebellion that we don't see. We don't
exactly.
This is not a.
We see the heroes, not the down and dirty types. Yeah.
They're good guys, but they're also facing a danger that if they fail, it all fails. It all crumbles. So everything's on the carpet when it.
I don't want to see him hardcore like that just off the beginning. I want to see the transition. I want
to
see
how he gets hardened in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What it had to do to get to that point. Because I mean, he was chosen for a reason. Well, this whole show, I mean, it's the whole growing of everybody growing, but I do want to see that transition of what turns him into this type of person to do that. I mean, the speech that he even gives in Rogue One, you know, I've been doing this since I was 6, and you have to, that's crazy. Like, we get to see that play out, but I want to see that. I don't want to see the, oh, well, you know, maybe he had to do a couple of things. Like, I hope they show it.
No, like what Chris was saying about the whole year kind of stuff, and that how it might not be linear. We might go back to where now I'm trying to put this in my head, guys, and help me out with this with the math on this. Andor being 6 years old, where does that put us? Does that put us in Clone Wars time? Does that put us on a planet that he was a part of Confederacy? Maybe
we had figured that out. He was very young right then. Like, we had figured that he was. I want to say a young teen. Hold on, Cassian age.
Yeah, because 18 years, Rogue One.
He's 26 when he died. So 26 when he died. So 20 years. Oh, yeah, he was 6 years old at Order 66. He's been in the fight since Order 66.
Okay. That's
what we had figured out. His planet must have got rampaged, something in a purge somewhere.
Because I was trying to put it in the clone, like maybe his planet was part of like the Separatists, and they were invaded by the Republic, and then he was in that battle already. And then when that transition happened, like we saw in Bad Batch, where those worlds were switched over, like they were doing good, and all of a sudden the good guys came, liberate us, and now they became like these oppressors. And I was kind of hoping to see some, we might be able to see some of that because it's right in that tail end, where why he hates the Galactic, why he didn't go towards the Republic is because he saw that they liberated his planet, but then they became the oppressors immediately after. And so that he could be on that mindset of like, all right, it's all bad. You know what I mean? And let's explore that too. That would be freaking awesome to do it too. I mean, there's 24 episodes, and if they say like every 3 episodes is a year's time, I'm assuming, again, maybe bad on my part, I'm assuming they're going to be more than 30 minutes long, 30, 40 minutes long.
You would think, because 3 years for a year sucks.
Yeah.
Right? And at that point, for a whole season for a year, that was cool. But when you start breaking it down to 3 episodes, you're going to go 4 different blocks of time. That's really, really odd is what I thought. So,
and they've been filming this for a long time, right? Andor was one of the first things that was announced, and now it's coming out after Book of Fett, season 2 of Mando, Kenobi. So I mean, they had a lot of time to do this.
Well, they've gone from one season to like 4 seasons down to 2. That they've reworked this so many times. But that's kind of good news too. They've taken their time with it and probably gone through those 5 seasons they were planning on, or 4 seasons, and said, you know what, these are 3 episodes each. There's a lot of filler. Do you hear these fans? We throw a bunch of filler in there, they're gonna kill us.
Yeah,
it's true.
4 episodes in one now.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a longer episodes, because again, if you're gonna tell a story in you can't tell it in an hour and a half. Did I go down?
A little bit.
No, you didn't go down. You just got weird. You sound like you're in a tunnel.
There you are. The internet.
You sounded reptilian.
Awesome. I let it be known.
Is he a lizard person?
I let it be known.
Don't change on camera. Don't change on camera.
Not again.
Go this way.
I'll go into a brand new episode right after this. Yeah.
I've seen V. I know what happens.
Yeah.
V I love V. But yeah, guys. So an hour, let's say hour 20, hour 30 to tell a year story is not enough. I'm just saying that right now. They'll be too fast. There'll be too much info, or just maybe it's got to be better. Like, give us that almost a 3-hour mark when it comes to telling a year story. Of course we want more, guys. If we're into it, we want more. That's another good thing. It's like,
as long as you can pull off 3 episodes and give us 2 hours each, because a movie is 2 hours, right? And you can get a year's worth of stuff in a movie.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah, so about 40 minutes each or whatever.
As long as you pull that off, 40, 45 minutes each.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I'm like I said, I'm assuming. I think we're going to be okay regardless.
It's just the difference in that, though. I guess when I say it is 2 hours in a movie, they make movies different than TV.
They
do. The beauty about the TV is usually you can get a lot of the thinking and the backstory and a lot of detail in there. So I don't know, man. Until we know how they're flowing and we see one, I won't. Yeah, and it won't be till season 2, because season 1's going to feel normal.
Like you said, season 1's going to have this long, like setting up a lot of things and going into, and then it's going to speed right away on season 2 to get up to Rogue One, or Rogue Rogue One and like I can't. We got 55 days away. Like this is gonna be around the corner. You know what I mean? Like summer's over. Thank goodness. I hate summer.
What's the date it's supposed to come out?
August 30th.
Oh
yeah. And I believe that it still is a Wednesday. I think so we're still on the Wednesday schedule. And Bad Batch is like September. They said so. Right, fall.
So same time.
No, they said September. It is September.
So they'll crisscross.
Is it going to be on Wednesdays? You think?
I don't know.
Oh
or
man, I hope so.
That'd be awesome.
It's not going to be
episode like both of them drop that same day.
I wish. Dude, they're not going.
And then Tales from the Jedi is in the fall too, so that's going to blend right in.
The same with Marvel. I mean, we had Kenobi and Miss Marvel going on.
Yeah, but to me, you're right, and that's no problem. But to Star Wars is what I'm worried about. Do they want to cannibalize? But does it matter on a streaming service, right?
Right.
Does it really matter? Because I'm still going to watch Andor, and I'm still going to watch.
You're not going to pick and choose like a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Gotta watch it all.
I know.
Gotta catch it all.
Streaming's a different animal. I don't know if it matters on day one or the opening day. I don't know what matters to them. Most of them don't even announce.
You know, they dropped. Disney Plus dropped the entire series of Baymax just this past couple of weeks ago, and it's like 8 short episodes. They might do the same thing with Tales of the Jedi, and like what they did with Visions. It might be, it's so short. Maybe they're going to drop the entire season in one day.
Yeah.
So that could take Tales of the Jedi off the table right there. But Bad Batch will be weekly, and so will Andor.
Yeah. I was expecting that from Tales anyway. Like, here's the lump thing, and you guys watch it as you
watch at your own risk.
It would be cool if they had it, if they were cool enough to time it to where the stories intertwined, animated and live action.
Oh yeah.
Where the Bad Batch is crossing over using the path and using Roken's people and all this stuff, and having it all just mix at once would be so ridiculously awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, it's too late now, but
you said August 30th, right?
That for Andor, yes. Yeah,
that's a Tuesday.
What was that? It's a Tuesday. Huh.
Oh, maybe they meant midnight, August 30th. I hope.
Yeah, it's August. It falls on a Tuesday.
We're in trouble.
What?
Well, we'll still do Wednesdays. That's still fine for us.
Well, unless they're going to do the whole early thing at like 9 p.m., meaning Wednesdays. Remember they did that with Kenobi.
August 31st.
Oh, is it August 31st?
I just checked. Yeah. Andor release date's August 31st.
Okay, cool. Well,
August
there goes
31st.
that.
So when's August 31st, Joe?
Bad Batch Season 2 is September 28th. Now figure that one out.
Oh, you mean 2022? I was looking at 2024. But
the other one was right, though. You were right on the other one.
No, you're right. It's August 31st, which I
31st is the Wednesday. But what's September 28th?
September 28th is, I can tell you right now, September. Why is my
Wednesday
calendar being a jerk?
A Wednesday. They're all Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And Andor is supposed to be 12 episodes. We're not done with it yet. We're only 4 episodes in. They're going to start crisscrossing. That's awesome. On Wednesdays. Neat.
Yeah. There's perfect opportunity there, too, because
make them connect.
Start time frame of where Andor begins. We only know where it's going to lead up to an end and have that.
You know what, though? There's nothing I hate worse than reading comic books whenever you're reading a main story and it says, now you got to go pick up, you're reading Blackest Night. Right. Now you've got to go read Booster Gold number 36. Now you got to go read Green Lantern number 35.
It's like the DC TV shows, dude. I didn't want to watch Flash and Supergirl and Arrow. I didn't want to watch them all. To get the. You're right.
Yeah.
But it would be neat for Star Wars just once. If it's and if it's going to be any of them, Andor and Bad Batch would be the two I would think do it with.
I don't think it can confuse any. I don't think it can confuse anymore. Like people are already confused on time frame when a series comes out.
Credit.
I'm saying, or they wait the 4 weeks. They're waiting the 4 weeks because the first 4 or 5 episodes of Andor are something whatever, right? They're going to have flashbacks, and then starting in week 5 when we get Bad Batch, we can go back and see what was going on. Then it's not really mixing to see the same time frame. We can go back in time. You know what I mean? So that'll work.
Yeah. But you also said that it's isn't Filoni's tied into the Bad Batch, right? Where he's not attached to Andor, or is it just John Favreau?
He's attached to everything now.
He wasn't nowhere near any of the credits to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, what I saw for Andor, both Filoni and Favreau were not even mentioned, not even producing.
But is Filoni not in charge of the story group now? Did he not get a promotion recently?
Yeah, I think they run things by him, but I don't think he's credited as being involved. I said, they might go up to, hey, this is what we're going to do with Andor. He's like, yeah, that's awesome.
But either way, it doesn't matter who's running it. They just have to connect. Like Marvel, it doesn't. There's a Fahey, right? But other than that, the Russo brothers have this, and everybody has a different piece.
Papa Schmidt. So he's got a point here. He's got a point here. They won't cross live action animated. That'd be too aggressive for them. It'd be too aggressive if it really impacted the story. Now referencing each other.
And welcome aboard, Papa Schmidt. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. But they're not going to take major plot points and finish in one and then begin or even cross that. What they'll do is they might cross-pollinate characters, and have their own side things that mean nothing to them.
Like they did with Fennec over there. They're bringing all of Rebels. They just said Ahsoka is basically a sequel to Rebels.
Perfect example is Fennec in Bad Batch.
Right.
And then, it was a perfect example. She was in there. It really, you got a little backstory of what she was doing at that time, but it really didn't impact anything we got from Book of Fett, or Mando.
But I could see these guys dealing with the path and these people and the partisans and all that, and us flashing back to Bad Batch 2, and that's who Bad Batch 2 is really going to be working with right now. You would figure the partisans, the rebellion, the path, all these people are who the Bad Batch are going to end up working with. So you start going. That's why you just can't do them the same day starting. You got to give it a couple weeks to get that part of the story in Andor done. So now you can flash back and not ruin it.
But I also and not ruin it. That's the key, right? There's a fine line, there's a gray area, because I know a lot of people who don't even mess with the cartoons or the animated, and a lot of people who love Star Wars and are just moviegoers.
It's beyond them, or it's
just
them.
like it's too much, right? It's not familiar to them. Right, so like Kenobi is a familiar, Vader's a familiar, both all that stuff. And when you get into like these clones, like they're like, oh yeah, clones, okay, cool. There's a whole cartoon on them. Oh, that's awesome. And if you tell them, you got to watch episodes 5 and 6 to understand, or to really get a notion of what Andor season 2 episode 3 is going to be about, that they're going to lose them. So I get that point of not. They might cross each other, but they won't be
right. It's not. They won't be. They're going to be years apart, because we can't do Andor at Order 66 anyway, because he'll be 6 years old, right? So it's got to be Diego Luna's age. Ish. They're going to make him look younger, right? So
right. Just he'll shave. He looks like a little baby.
Yeah. What are the odds of seeing a Bad Batcher? We talked about this too. A Bad Batcher in Andor.
I think that'd be cool, because you could still do it. And still have like this base character showing up, and people go, that's awesome, right? And then there's this Bad Batch season.
What's Boba Fett doing in here?
Yeah.
So I would think the obvious would be Wrecker or I lost his name, the main one.
Hunter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. Wrecker or Hunter, because he really Morrison can pull off one of those two.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah.
The other one seemed a little bit off.
They also have all the connections to like the Free Ryloth movement, the actual Free Ryloth movement. Whenever Hera was on
we're
board,
getting a planet of Twi'leks, man. Watch, we are.
That'd be amazing.
And
so that's all of them.
They know Cham Syndulla, so I mean he's part of the. Yeah, I mean
there's no reason not to have the Free Ryloth movement, the partisans, the Path, the Rebellion, everybody meeting up, and that should happen. Yeah. Just like we wanted a Jedi Council for Force Ghosts,
We did.
This is more realistic, I guess.
It makes a lot of sense to even do that because of, especially Hera, right? You get her in Andor and Ryloth and everything, and then you see her in Rebels and everything, and then you see her in the live action Ahsoka, and then you can like cross pollinate and stuff, and it just works really well if you're continuous, because it's almost like separate stories every time you see her anyway.
You could get a live action Cham Syndulla in this. That would be really pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I'm with Papa. When do we finally get to see Hondo?
Hondo would have been perfect in Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
I know.
Right? Since they were best friends, he thinks.
I still don't get how that hasn't played out with the whole Smuggler's Run. In Batu.
We're going to have some of that in the Ahsoka bit.
My mind is going towards Mando season 3 now. Hondo in the future.
Mando Mike says, if they get The Rock for Wrecker, I am done with Star Wars. The dude is in everything. And then Geo the Hutt follows that up with Kevin Hart has to be Omega.
Oh, man. Good Lord.
Well, first off, there's Star Wars, and then there's everything else. So I don't like if the Rock is in Star Wars, that suppresses everything else, Like, but I agree.
But no.
I don't
only if Tamara Morrison can play all the Bad Batch are the only ones he can be, and he'd have to find a way to de-age, genderize, and
I was just gonna say CGI them, but
to be Omega.
Have a hit and miss with CGI right now, so I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Let's see here.
But back to Hondo there, he's going to be sequel, right? Because that's where Galaxy's Edge really is, right? They've already used him enough. And he's going to be Ahsoka. He's going to be in Ahsoka because of Ezra. Because Obi-Wan gone, Ezra's he would do anything for that boy. Is the last thing I remember him saying.
My mind is going into post Return of the Jedi, Mandalorian.
That's what I mean by sequel. Post Return of the Jedi. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's before it was in the past, like Kenobi, like we were talking ourselves. But now my mind's like, I'm kind of I'm dead set on him showing up. It makes a lot more sense now. And like what Ernie was saying with even Scott about the marketing issue on too, because everything goes hand in hand. Yes, we look at the Star Wars shows of the gospel, but you think of what's going on in Disneyland parks right now. They added Mando, they added Fennec and everything. Hondo's already in it, but whole transition makes so much sense. Yeah.
I like the fact, and that kind of leads to more about Disney and what they're doing and the way they're kind of keeping everything in a way segregated. Like Fennec and Boba, their area is
in the marketplace.
The marketplace. Rey is over by the Falcon and over by the droid depot with what's her name, the gal that they made up for. I'm drawing a blank. Thank you, Vi Marati.
Yeah.
So they're keeping these people segregated into these areas so they can bring more characters in and populate, which I think is a brilliant idea.
It's great. They're not... the land's big enough for that. You know what I mean? Where it's
especially
like a seamless transition.
Yeah.
It's a seamless transition. There's a huge area for Resistance and Rey and Chewie. There's a huge area for the marketplace. There's a huge area, for the first, and to bring that in there and slowly start morphing into like the stuff that's actually working, right? Like, it just makes a lot of sense in the marketing positions because again, what we get surveys every time we go to Disneyland, every time, and they tell us exactly what we like, what we don't like, what's missing, what's not missing, and we fill them out every single time. And I'm sure it's piling up on their desk. All right, we get it. Darth Vader needs to be in Batu. We got it. You know what I mean? Like,
no-brainer.
They've been making a lot of changes there, though, that have been, and I'm sure Ernie's noticed it too. It's kind of head scratching. Like they're selling basic hoodies and stuff like that now in Galaxy's Edge. You can go in Doc Ondars. You can go and buy a hoodie. Why is a hoodie for sale in Doc Ondars? That should be. There's a little kiosk in the marketplace where they sell human stuff like T-shirts and say Black Spire.
Because
that's where the hoodie should live.
Because everybody flocks to it, and it's like, this makes sense. Let's go where they're going. Let's go where the fans are going. It
just doesn't feel right.
You know what I mean? If they're buying Darth Vader, let's give them Darth Vader, right? So,
but they're gonna break immersion anyway. And the point of the single characters within an era is because immersion, right? You can't have Darth Vader with Kylo Ren. I get it, but to Scott's point, if you're gonna have hoodies. All shots are.
All bets are off.
All done. All bets are off. There you go.
Yeah, we talk about every single time. Like Scott and I just talked about it last week when we went. We're like, dude, change that flag, change this, and do that. Boom, Empire.
Easy.
Empire weekend. A month-long Empire day on Batu, and it takes you back.
I feel like we're treading on Ernie's area though. Here, you've got to have an opinion.
Well,
on this stuff,
we're
man.
broken records at this point because we've said this so many times. We've even done like full episodes on Disneyland, right? Like on Batu immersion and stuff, and. I think it's happening. It's the faucet's slowly turning on that era.
No, for sure. Like you said, we've keep mentioning about how easy it is to change. It was awesome the way they brought Fennec in and Fett in. We are going to have Mando. I think they're trying to look at that area too. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
So with that though, I haven't seen the hoodies in Doc Ondars, so I didn't see that. I was there Saturday. And I didn't see that. But what I did see on Saturday was all three were out at the same time, and they were doing it flawlessly. Now, that I hadn't seen because they were stretching them out between 20-minute intervals, depending on who was out and what was going on at the time. So they did their whole Kylo show at the ship, and then they walked down, and they were walking around, and they were walking from the whole that side where the ship is to the bottom of the marketplace. And right before that, Boba had just walked up the steps with Fennec into the marketplace.
Gotcha.
And then they were down and up all at the same time, and everybody had no idea what was going on, but I did
awesome.
because I know this stuff, and so looking, and then as I turn around and I'm done catching Boba, Chewie and Rey were on the Resistance side.
Yeah,
that's
just
cool.
had walked by as well too. So there was no more time periods, no more waiting. Everybody
I like that change because I've been there I've been there many times, and I can count where I can walk the entire land and not see one character, like one, and I could be there for an hour and not see one, you know, and then I'd never see them all out there at the same time. You know?
The only thing I could say to the hoodies is I don't know if that was a mistake, which they do make a mistake because, you know, putting out merchandise early or anything like that. Hi Wolfie, tell your mom I said hi. And then
what the hell?
With that,
6-year-old found out how to get on YouTube real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Kick them off. And then with that, I can only take that as a mistake because of how much they've grown to with all three at the same time. I know the T-shirts and everything that they had, though I know they say Batu, but a lot of them were written in Arabic.
Yeah, Arabic.
So that was cool. And then they brought out a lot more cast members who are still being immersed with you and sitting there with their pets, sitting there playing sabacc, sitting there doing other roles. I saw that brought up again, like everywhere, talking to you, just coming by, walking up and talking to you. So I thought that was cool. So like I said, the only thing with that is I'm hoping that was a mistake because you're right, Chris, the whole immersion and that pulls it away, Scott. I can only hope that was a huge mistake and they did it. What hoodie was it?
It was a black hoodie with the Imperial crest on it, with the Imperial logo on it, in white. So it was obviously something that it looked like something that belonged in Tomorrowland.
The new guy messed up, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, good.
But we'll just chalk it up to that.
To point out other things, like what you're saying, people out there with their pets. There was a gal walking around with a backpack, and in the backpack was the BD droid from. It was a BD droid from Fallen Order, and I mean, I had never seen that. And I'm like, okay, we're headed to the droid depot. We got to figure out if this thing's for sale.
Hey, you guys have the new BD droid? She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, your cast member had it on, and she said that it's a week old, and you got a new shipment in, and she got us. She got us, which is great. Like it made us question. It made us go in there, and what did we do when we get there, Scott? We'd say, hey, do you guys get any stuff from off world? I mean, it made us get in the mode of talking to the cast members as a Star Wars civilian. But it was awesome. Now she had the backpack with the BD droid in there, and it was like, man, this is awesome. I guess
the problem is with the immersion, you kind of want the fans and the people to be immersed.
Yeah.
As you're being immersed, if you don't get it, it becomes a hassle, right?
Yes.
So, like, we get the immersion. We want the immersion. 99% of the people don't get it nor want it. That's kind of the problem I see with the Halcyon, with the hotel, too. Right? Nobody's in there dressed up. When they are, it's way more fun, I would think.
Yeah. That's why they call it the personal immersion. Like, it's a personal thing, too. So when you go up to them,
I haven't seen them break it, which is good, Chris. They haven't yet, especially with Boba and everybody. Everybody is figuring out you just can't stop and take pictures. If he's stopping and talking, doing some type of interaction, then you better hurry up. But he is not stopping, taking a picture with you or anything like that. You have to have the conversation. He's not just in the corner pose. He's literally him and Fennec walking around the marketplace.
Cool thing about Boba, one of my former students at the university, she designed and helped build his costume for Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I need you to help me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's
Can you come over and build the armor with me?
I'll make you some barbecue. You can help me build some armor.
Yeah. One real quick thing. I saw this in the chat there. It was about Rex showing up. I wouldn't throw it off the table at all because there was that said deleted scene or deleted thing about Cody being in Kenobi. I don't think they shot it, right? They didn't shoot that. It was
the same interview about the ending too, talking about how Cody was going to be in there and that he had been unchipped at this point and was helping and had a reunion with Rex, which, as you guys know, I'm totally against.
We're against it, but that means the story group has thought of that.
But Cody's coming. No, that was the writer. That wasn't the story group. That was the writer. So it's been brought to their attention to bring him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cody's coming to Bad Batch. He's in.
Oh yeah, he's in Bad Batch. But I'm hoping he doesn't get unchipped. Is my thing.
Yeah.
I would love to see a good guy stay bad and have to deal with him through the Empire.
We want to see the Rex Cody conflict. Rex being like he's already unchipped and doing this thing with even live action, and Cody being, like I said, that would be a very cool dynamic, and and something that we haven't really explored in that too.
Maybe that's the first couple episodes of Andor they have to get through before Bad Batch starts.
I was just gonna say that. I mean, because showing Kenobi and then showing that 501st clone just sit there begging for money and not doing anything. Obviously, we know that they get switched over to just regular humans or regular. Yeah, you don't have to be. Yes, and that then does the Emperor shut them off? Does he just let them die out, or whatever it may be?
No pension.
Yeah.
They start
correct. Right. Yeah. So we see that to where maybe there's a point. Yeah, they don't care. Like I want to see that happen now, especially with that one showing up and sitting there in Kenobi. Like that was a moment that I feel for some reason like they had to show, not just to get at us, but
it wasn't just the Easter egg you're saying.
I've seen some things where they made it like people assuming, right, like us, like Theorycraft, and now or just making the point that that's a 501st member, right? Yes. That's how bad Vader had gotten to where his 501st even got kicked out. Those were his guys.
That was his Anakin's guards,
and he could care anymore. That's where they are now in the Empire. Clones screw them for the most part, because there was the Dark Lords of the Sith book where one was a royal guard. So it's not like they don't exist in the Empire at all. They do exist. That's why. That's what they're few and far between. That's why I really want one to be Cody, and I want them to have that showdown.
There was some talk somewhere. I don't think it was proven that the Purge troopers are supposed to be old clone troopers.
Oh, that wasn't that in the video game? Or no? I don't. Joey would know that.
In which one? In Fallen Order?
Yeah, the Purge troopers, were they clones?
I'm not sure. They don't really mention it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'd have to go back.
The only thing I know about they were just trained to combat Jedi. I mean,
I could see them being what's his name's the ones he was training. Like, oh my god, I lost his name too in the Bad Batch.
They were like a special forces type.
Gregor,
in Hunting the Jedi.
The Bad Batch guy, the one that went bad.
Crosshairs.
Crosshairs. Thank you. Crosshair. That would be cool for him to make the Purge troopers. That would make sense.
Yeah. But Miss Sunflower's hopefully we'll see more live action clone troopers Andor. Yes, we actually do see the Gen 1 stormtroopers. We saw them in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming those are clones. So
could be.
At that early stage,
I mean, is it a point to where the clones train them and then it's like, all right, thanks, you're out?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing in Bad Batch season 1, kind of. That's what they were starting to do there.
Right.
Yes.
The clones train the troops.
War Mantle, right? That was
War Mantle. Yes.
And then Mando says, maybe the majority of the clone troopers dies with the first Death Star. It could be they're all kicking back at the retirement quarters, in the retirement quarters.
They're just contracting back to the job to help build the damn thing. They're like, I'm gonna go get some more money, hun. Let me just go ahead and build the account, get the nest egg up.
As Order 66,
if we help build it, we get a room. So
the whole thing about that clone trooper begging and not going after Obi-Wan. Well, just as fast as Order 66 was implemented, they had probably another order to we're done. You know what I mean? They're too old.
I don't think they ever turned it off. He just didn't notice Obi-Wan. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't know he's a Jedi. But I'm just saying there could have been that thing where it's like after a certain time, the clones aren't needed. It's almost like Operation War Man. That was the whole thing. Let's just cease all clones. They don't have a purpose anymore. We even want them hunting Jedi anymore. Now we're going to use conscripts. Now we're going to use our own kind of deal. Anyway, I'm just like kind of. Yeah.
I found something that said says Purge troopers were an expendable division of clone troopers that operated as a personal death squad and escort to Darth Vader and his Inquisitors.
So that was just Inquisitors troops.
Yeah,
kind of like we see Death Troopers with directors and above,
Yeah. Yeah, but
so they were clone troopers.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna. Anybody ordered the hot toy, the Purge Trooper that was announced?
No.
Or
no.
going
Did you guys see that Boba Fett that dropped today? Or
I did. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god! And that's a great comic too. So I saw that and I'm like, oh man, really? And it's got to be.
It's just starting, Scott. It's just starting because we saw what we were at Celebration.
Stupid things called bills that I got to
buy. Same here, man.
It's a Toy Fair exclusive, so hopefully we get a chance to get a crack at it.
That'd be pretty cool. I don't know how I could pass it up.
Yeah,
but Joey, they take payments. That's how
trust me. I know that.
Yeah.
Also, your electric bill, you can defer your electric bill too. I know all about that. But anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say we kind of seem to be branching off into little subjects here,
like always. Mm-hmm.
Have you guys been reading Shadow of the Sith at all?
Yep.
No. Only vicariously through you.
I had just started listening.
It is damn good. It is surprisingly well done. I think Chris and I need to do and Joey too. If he finishes it up, we need to do a Beyond the Pit because
I downloaded the audio already, so I'm ready to get into it. And I know that we have talked about on this show about a book or show or something that ties in that has that sequel meat and potatoes, right? That we're waiting for. You know, why Luke hid or Orlando's role. I mean, there's a lot there. Rey's parents. And it's all in here, right?
It's all in here, and it's
a lot more Rey and Ben than I assumed was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And freaking Ochi of Bastoon is in it, and I still hate the character. He's still just a terrible.
Hate
character.
Him because he's a bad character.
He's annoying.
Like bad. Oh, okay, annoying.
He's annoying, but gotcha. He's cool. He serves his purpose, but he's just in the comic book. They started him out as being just this annoying dick. Mm-hmm. And he follows through. It's very on point for that.
So he's a good character is the thing. If you hate him, you're supposed to hate him.
That's what I'm saying. Is he a love to hate character?
He's like a brat. He's like a spoiled brat.
You hate him, but you dig him in the story. Like if he wasn't there, it'd be a miss type of thing. Yeah. You know, you're like, okay.
It explains the relationships between the old man at the beginning of the Phantom Menace. What's his name, Chris?
Lor Santeca.
Lor Santeca. Thank you.
And him
explains
and Luke
his
really
relationship
close.
with Luke. Yeah. And there's just so much.
Lando's daughter is mentioned many a time, and that's where they're figuring out the Sith stuff and the rise of all that. And they've got Exegol all up in here talking about Wayfinders, and I mean, there's a lot of good nods, and it's not just sequel stuff. It's Luke and Lando stuff. It's
bringing stuff into Legends from Legends back into it again, and talking about how Wayfinders are actually the precursors to holocrons and. All sorts.
It was neat because Luke thought he had a holocron.
Yeah.
Right, and if I right there, and it was just pieces of it. He had to put it together, and turns out then he figured out what a Wayfinder was. So they're going into a lot of detail figuring that out. The dagger, a lot of stuff
drains blood.
Oh, explaining the dad clone was interesting, and how did they say it? It wasn't that he was a direct clone, right? It was as part of a strand cast.
Yeah,
you could get his DNA. It was like there was an experiment going on. So they're not quite saying it was like a direct 1-for-1. They know it wasn't aged, and they know he wasn't tampered with like the clones were, right? Like Kaminoans were. Right. But it's not just Palpatine. So this is where I think the stuff going on with Snoke, Grogu, all of that kind of plays into effect, making make him. Why did they not kill him, Scott? I forget. They said there was a reason.
If they've said it, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still about 8 hours from the end of the book, but I'm listening to the audiobook, and it's very well performed.
It's okay. It's not Mark Thompson.
It's not Mark Thompson. No, he is. But it's interesting to see that Dathan, who is Rey's dad, exists during the time of the rebellion, and it's very interesting.
That's Rey's dad. He's Rey's dad.
Dathan.
Who's the other one that they keep saying her name?
Miramir.
Yes.
So dumb. That is my least favorite part of the book is Rey's mom's name. It's and they say it a lot.
That's her mom.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And Rey's right there with them. So
yeah.
So it's really cool what we're getting here, and I'm a couple hours left, right? Yeah. But it's neat considering when you think about the sequels and how everybody knows who the girl is.
Yeah.
Right? And you're getting to the point now where you're like, oh, Lando and Luke here are learning who this girl, they're going to figure out who this girl is. And this is, So I'm not to that point yet, but you can see what's happening because they're dealing with her directly. And like they're right there with these parents. So it's a neat tie into that again. Like we said, this is still in the
Do you mean for Kylo to say girl, what girl? That part?
That part I don't know yet, but I think that's coming up very shortly. Because we deal with Ben when he's 16, Rey is 6. So that's where we're at. This is 17 years after Andor.
And I want to say, was it Miss Sunflower that said that she thought it would be cool if Luke's Jedi temple was on the planet Ossus?
Yes.
And it is confirmed in this book that is Ossus, which is from Tales of the Jedi, which is my all-time favorite Star Wars comic, as we know. And not only that, but there was another planet that they went back to.
Oh, they went in Tython again and dealt with the seeing stones and stuff like that. That was, yeah, that's the part. Okay, so it wasn't just sequels; they were dealing with the Mandalorian time frame, and that's what was cool right there. The seeing stones on Tython. Thank you for. But they mentioned how that used to be like all lush and watery and all this kind of stuff. Now we just see it's here. Yeah, in Southern California. Yeah, but it was a weird how he had described how it used to be. You know,
gotcha.
But it was neat, and how they're going. They're trying to find all those books. They're talking about the Jedi text. He's going. It's a lot of cool stuff. It's a good book. Good lore book. We'll have to get together and do a full on recap.
I just like I said, I used one of my credits on download, so I'm ready to delve into it.
It's kind of like a horror novel. There's a lot of stuff in it that's genuinely like vampires and
who's that on the front?
You'll like the Sith person, really. All you guys will, really, because the Sith person is, at this point, well, I don't want to get too, I'll get spoilery. Being possessed, like Scott was saying, right? But it's from Sith artifacts. And we're dealing with Sith artifacts a lot in High Republic we were before, and other places, and even the dagger and stuff, right? But Sith masks and being able to, you know...
It's interesting.
Is that the dude on the cover?
Essences.
Yes,
and it's not a dude.
It's a girl.
Oh.
Yeah. So come to find out. So although the voice gets modulated here and there, kind of like using the Force, which is neat because all I think when they mentioned that in the book how the voice was female but modulated somehow through the mask, maybe using the Force. I'm thinking of the Palpatine when he changed, right?
Yeah.
Right in his office when you heard the different voices. That's how I had it in my head. Yeah. So
right.
That's cool book, and I love everything with Lando in it anymore. And Lando's been just such a great character in canon.
The narrator reminds me of Benedict Cumberbatch whenever he's doing an American accent.
Yeah, he doesn't have a bad voice at all. It's not a bad, like you said, it's well done. It's just it's a notch difference in the voices, right? It's like I can tell that's Lando, but Mark does a Lando. You know, and then I can tell that's Luke, but Mark does a Luke. And that's just... And they might even be... Sometimes Marks are kind of cartoony or over the top, but that's what makes him the character in the book. That's why you know what's going on, you know? But it's really well read, and it does have a really nice audiobook voice, you know?
Yeah. So, highly recommended if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to, like I said, get a full-on... I know we just did a review, or basically, but I mean a full-on, like excerpts on what it means for the canon lore and the bigger picture and all that. We'll have to do a Beyond or something like that, or a Hot Topic or whatever to get into it. But
barbecue and cornhole.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
We need to do that.
So
next weekend, let's go. Invite the pit. Let's do it.
All right. I mean, whose house?
Not this weekend. Next weekend. One after.
Gotcha. But let's wind this down, guys. So it's great to be back after a little break. I mean, it wasn't a real major break, but we needed it because we had to watch Stranger Things. Okay, we'll just put it out there. We had to do that. But anyway, there's a couple things in the chat that I wanted to kind of hit before. Cal Kestis being rumored as in the live action and rumored actor. Well, they already have the actor, and that dude. I mean, they pulled him from the video game. He's already in it, so if they don't get him to play any kind of live action Cal Kestis,
he's pretty bulked up right now too, though, isn't he? Isn't that the guy that's playing Adam Warlock?
Yes.
Yeah. In Marvel, so, he's pretty big. Right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's already there. Like it's already prepped for that role. Let's see what else. Miss Sunflower said that she was getting into Clone Wars, I think. Here we go. She says, by the way, I finally got myself to watch Clone Wars, but I'm following the fan-made order of the episodes. So far, so good. I don't know if the one Scott made.
No, the fan made order
Yeah.
where you got to jump to like episode 5 first, watch that, then go watch the movie.
Okay.
Then you know what I mean?
I think you've actually even got to go into like season 3 to watch a couple things, then back up to season 1. And no, what I did was just the essential episodes. So, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, the timeline order is weird.
Yeah, Julianne Fernie. Do you think we'll finally find out who pulled Grogu during Order 66 and rescued him?
Yes.
I'm putting money down on it. I'm putting money down that we will find out
during Bad Batch.
During Bad Batch, or again in the season 3 of Mando when they start, going back and forth, but it'll be like episode 6 of season 3. Like in the middle of it, they'll do some sort of.
I'm looking for some kind of connection to, because now they've dropped Quinlan's name.
Right.
Yes.
Right. He has to exist. He's existing somewhere.
Yeah.
So why not in Bad Batch? And why? Oh, and you know what? Why not be the Jedi presence in Andor if he needs to be? Right, with the path.
Yeah, perfect.
That would work.
But I could see him being the one that I'm hoping now with the path and everything that he's the one that saves Grogu. That's my.
That's what I said a couple
that
weeks
ago.
That
would be a great.
That's what I've been waiting for.
The great crossover, and to bring that character into fruition. See, yeah, man, that I'm down with that. Like that's a really.
And at some point, they think the only way to save him is freeze him in carbonite, and he's frozen until almost Mandalorian. That's why he's so small. That's why he doesn't remember anything.
So he's
interesting.
Maybe he was so much trouble he puts him in carbonite.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, look,
pain.
The only way to control him.
Don't judge me, but here he is.
We're saving him for the right time.
Yeah.
That's all. We just have Grogu on ice until the right time.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, all you had to say was Grogu, and then like everybody understands.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh hell no, not that kid.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, let's wind this down, and of course, we will be back here next Wednesday, to do this all over again and see what comes out Star Wars, and I'm sure that we'll have a lot more topics and marination of canon and everything that comes to fruition as we do, because this is what we do. We do our line talk, and we do it so well. So again, 50.
Hey, wait, Miss Sunflower's right. The host Master Sanube is the one that saves him. When did Master Sanube die? Because Sanube is the one. Sanube is in Kenobi.
Yeah, his body is in
His
Amber.
body's in Kenobi. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess it would be after Order 66.
Well, I mean,
then.
he could have saved him.
So it could be
the boss, and he got captured.
That would be a cool little connection. So that's a name we got to pay attention to, because Sanube showed up in Kenobi. So
that's a name I haven't heard since. Thanks.
There you go.
Thanks.
Well
Awesome. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Thank you so much, Pitt. Thank you so much, Sarlacc crew, for getting this little hour plus some minutes to geek out of Star Wars again. If you haven't, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Tell a friend. Every week is Bring a Friend Week. So every week is Bring a Friend Week. We don't mind that at all.
Bring a friend.
We're on a push to 1,000 subscribers, and we're at 743 right now. And I'm thinking we're going to give something away at 1,000 subscribers.
We are definitely giving something away at 1,000.
Free passes to Ernie's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I thought that was 10,000, but all right, we'll do it.
It was just for 2 nights.
All right, I'll do it for 1,000.
So if you've got Star Wars friends, let them know. Please have them subscribe. Hit that bell notification, and just join us.
Yeah. Mando Mike, great show. Thanks, guys. So, podcast is like the Pringles. You can't have just one. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Our
hey, there's 21 watching. We only got 7 likes.
What the heck?
There's more, actually. It hasn't
Smash it.
Oh, yeah. Smash that button, man. Come on.
Smash the like button. You gotta come pick it up, Chris.
I'm on the way. I'll be there in 20.
All right,
I'm so glad I'm not that one.
I'm gonna hand this off to Ernie so you can take us out, and so Ernie can go get something to eat. All right, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys again for being here. Yes, smash that thumbs up right now, and if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on, because we have other stuff that comes up here too. Like if you're a Patreon member, you get special episodes of stuff, special videos, a little bit of an incentive for being a Patreon member. So if you want to become one, we greatly appreciate it. It helps out the show. But the main thing is subscribe, go tell a friend, and we will see you next week here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you to the show sponsor, Tashi Station Emporium, which there is a giveaway right now featuring Tashi Station Emporium and the Fallen Fett Chronicles. Check out my IG stories or Tashi Station Emporium's IG stories on how to enter, what you can get. Also, Scott Solo has thrown in an exclusive art piece that will also be given away. Your choice of the good guys or the bad guys stand right there. And your choice of either we got Zartan or Firefly for the bad guys. And for the good guys, we got Lady J or Gung Ho.
I absolutely love calling them the good guys and bad guys. That shit is so funny.
Good guy, bad guy faction.
I love it. I love it.
But look at your G.I. Joes. Yeah, your G.I. Joes look great on them, don't they? Once again, hit up the Fallen Fett on IG or the Fallen Fett Chronicles on YouTube. Tashi Station Emporium for all your figure stand needs. Thank you to the Red 5 Network. Thank you to the Pit for being here tonight. Check that out. They're great for all your figures from Star Wars, Marvel, NECA, DC, McFarlane. Everything fits on there. Even your NECA horror, to show up with blood, and there's tons of stuff to come. That's just a little bit of what's out. Like Scott was showing, they're amazing. They do great. And the exclusive piece that I love that Scott did is, does it come in blue? I love it. So again, check it out on there. It's a great giveaway. We'll have something good for 1,000. I may open up my OnlyFans for a week that week. We'll see what happens.
Something very worthwhile when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Woo! And it might not just be one prize. So
maybe you can get something from all of us. Maybe you'll get a piece from my personal collection. Maybe you'll get, a visit.
You're not
from
getting my
Grand Admiral Franz.
Yeah.
Yours is free.
You get 2 hours with Grand Admiral Franz reading you.
You have to pay us to go into there.
Whoa.
So again, thank you guys for being here. Remember, go check out all those past episodes, all our videos, and all over social media, from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. You can find the Sarlacc Digest podcast. Thank you for being here.
Awesome. And with that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.